Time for Raj Round today, and I want to talk about Hard Knocks a little bit. So there are a lot of people excited about the Jets. They're going to be playing in what I believe, I think we all agree, is the toughest division now in the NFL. Got the Bills. They're still going to be a powerhouse. Miami's going to be much better. Got Vic Fangio now to DC to take over the defense. Jalen Ramsey, he's dealing with an injury, but he'll be back, and that's an upgrade on defense. So I think Miami's going to be legit. And the Patriots won't be that's not a pushover. They're not the Patriots with Tom Brady as the quarterback, but they're not a pushover. They still got Belichick, so they won't be an easy win. And then you have the Jets, which are the story of the offseason so far. The NFL is, America's #1 TV show, and right now, one of, I think, the most interesting of those characters is the Jets. And remember, you talked about it yesterday, that Hall of Fame game Jets played in, but they participated in. Aaron Rodgers was
players who will never
sideline.
play for the Jets.
Exactly, yeah. But it ended up getting some of the highest ratings we've ever seen for a preseason game. Actually got higher ratings than the NBA playoffs did. It's crazy. So people are just really thirsty for football. They have an appetite for it. They're jonesing for it. But also people are just captivated by this Jet story with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. So there are some people picking the Jets to win the division and to make a playoff run. I went and looked at the Hard Knocks series since 2001, the 20 teams that have participated in Hard Knocks, to try to see what their playoff success stories were like and how many of them actually won playoff games. Out of those 20 teams, 7 made the playoffs, that's a decent number. Only 3 won a playoff game though, out of the 20 teams since 2001 that have been on Hard Knocks. So I went a little bit deeper. I said, okay, so we're just looking at reality-based TV docu-series about NFL teams, and there's the All or Nothing series as well, and you have 5 NFL teams that have done that. So I went and looked at that series to try to see how many of those teams, it was Arizona, the Rams, Cowboys, Carolina, Philly, how many of them actually won a playoff game. 1 out of 5 of that group, which gives you right now 4 out of 25. I went and looked at the quarterback documentary on Netflix. You had 3 quarterbacks. You had Kirk Cousins, you had Marcus Mariota, and of course you had Patrick Mahomes. So out of those 3 quarterbacks who were followed around by a camera crew to make a reality docu-series about their season, you only had 1 quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl, that won playoff games out of those 3. So add all that up, all right, and you got 28 possible situations where there's a docu-series about a team, whether you're talking about All or Nothing, Hard Knocks, or you're talking about the quarterback series on Netflix. And out of those 28 possible scenarios, you're talking about now 5 that won a playoff game. 5 that won a playoff game. So I'm not saying that they can't win a playoff game.
Numbers
the Jets,
would tell you they
but
won't.
I'm saying recent history of the reality TV docu-series,
behind the curtain.
Yes, being a part of the cultivation of your culture as a team, that something about it is off. That something about it doesn't lead to playoff success. Now, my theory is simple, and I think it's a simple theory that everybody can relate to. When cameras are around, human beings are just different. Some people are shyer, some people are more outgoing, whatever. Cameras are around, people usually aren't their authentic, genuine selves. You get an inauthentic, disingenuous, projection of whoever that person wants you to think that they are. And this happens in, I think, reality TV, actually, when they have these dating shows. I went and tracked The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
You tracked it.
And when you went back and looked at it, you got 47 seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So we're talking about cultivating a relationship culture, a connection with another human being with cameras all around you, which means you're probably being disingenuous, you're being inauthentic, you're not your real self, you're away from the real world, you're on some island somewhere where they're giving you alcohol and you're hanging out in some beautiful exotic locale, which all these things are, they
with
are
24
mirages.
other dudes and females.
All these random scenarios, you're competing, whatever it may be. It's not necessarily the best environment to create a genuine connection with another human being, which is why when these people leave these situations as a couple, they're almost doomed. They're doomed to fail, right? It's inevitable. So out of those 47 Bachelor, Bachelorette seasons, I found only 9 of them are still together.
9 out of 47.
9 out of the 47 are still
right.
together. It's what you expect. You're like, yeah, that's about right. That's those things that
I've
do in
always
the
said
film.
on those shows that because eventually, if you get married or are with that person, they're going to watch the show and they're going to be.
What the hell were you?
You were with her too.
you did what? You said what about me?
You said that to her as well.
Oh, you kissed her, then
Same
you
thing
went.
You said to me.
What did y'all do in the fantasy suite?
Yeah, what was going on in there?
Exactly.
Over.
So, no, it's very similar to me because when at that time these people are trying to create a genuine connection with another human being with cameras around them, with all these extenuating circumstances. It's just not really, like I said, a productive environment, right? To try to connect with another human being. Same thing when you're trying to cultivate a culture of a football team at its infancy, at the beginning. Training camp, different human beings who are trying to work together toward a common goal, and you guys are trying to fit all these different personalities together. All of that happening with some people now being fake. Some people now shying away from connecting with their teammates because the cameras are all around. Some people like that. Some people don't like it. And it just creates a fake environment. And I think it's tough to cultivate a true culture that is going to be, I think that is something that's going to help you. And something that's beneficial when times get tough late in the season, injuries, all that mounts up, and then you have to go in the playoffs and try to win games against really good teams who have a really productive, a really positive, culture that can help them win games. It's a part of the DNA of their team, and I think that ultimately that's why the relationships fail for The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and that's why these teams who are on these reality TV docuseries, they have a hard time winning playoff games because it's tough to build a culture that way.
Well, especially with all the new players and new faces they have in New York right now. That would be the example we're using. But you're right, because forever, as long as I've covered sports, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. It's sacrosanct. It doesn't go out to anyone else.
Then become a social media conversation for everybody to talk about.
Now it's cameras everywhere.
It's public consumption.
And you can see that. I think there's probably a reason the New England Patriots have never been on Hard Knocks.
You're right. Yeah,
Bill Belichick would not allow it. They've never been in that list.
And they've had a celebrity quarterback forever, and for some reason
I don't know how
they never
Robert Kraft
did it.
has fended that off. But